there's no questions on the first page. I know the last class, we looked at number 6, because what a lot of people forgot to do in number 6 was they multiplied the first 2 by 42 over 1, and they took this one times the 42, and they forgot to take 9 times 42. So that was a place where people got this one wrong. They just left it as a 9. So the 6 should go into 42 and the 7. So that was a mistake that was made by a few people. I want to look at starting with number 13. 13 was kind of ugly because you had to multiply by such a large number. And the large number that was your least common multiple of 8 and 15 and 20. So we said yesterday, start with the largest number, which would be 20, and look at all the multiples of 20. So that'd be like 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And we get up there, and even at 100, 8 can go into 100, but 15 can't evenly go in. And the least common multiple is actually 120 for this question. So if we are starting number 13, you are going to take 120, and if you have not done 13, do it with me. You're going to put the 5t, so move the variable to the top and keep the denominator being 8. Then we're going to put plus 120, and it's going to be times 2t over 15. And then we're going to have 17/20 times 120. So if you didn't get this one right, or you didn't get the work, do it now with us so you have this one. So each one of these, it's 120 over 1. And we now want to try and simplify. So Sammy, start me off. 8 goes into 120. How many times?
40.
How many times?
40. No. What?
Use your calculator.
I'm sorry. Is it 15?
Did you check it on your calculator?
No, I didn't. It's 15. Like in my.
It is 15. So now, Sammy, we want to take 15 times 5t, which gives us
15 times 5 equals 75t.
75t. This next one, 15 goes into 120. 15 goes in once, and since 8 went in here 15 times, we figure this is probably going to be 8. And you could check by taking your calculator and take out 120 and dividing it by 15 and get 8. So now we're taking 8 times 2t, Haley, and it leaves us what? What are these? 16t. And then we have 20 goes into 120, and it goes in there 6 times. And we're taking 17 times 6. Multiply what you get. 102. So you get 102. When we look at this problem, oh man, that is ugly. 75 plus 16 is going to give us 91t equals 102. And I know that in the back of the book, when you're checking the answers, and someone this morning thought all the answers in the back were wrong, but they're not all wrong. You can leave it like this. You don't need to change it to a mixed number. 102 over 91, they have nothing in common that can probably divide into both of those. And the only thing that you would maybe be doing is rewriting it as 1 and then taking 102 minus 91, which gives us 11 over 91. This was the mixed number they had, but you can stop right here. On the quiz today, the homework quiz, when you have a fraction and you start with a fraction problem, I want your answer as a fraction. I don't want you to put this in and tell me a decimal number. If you start with a decimal, that's okay, but if you start with a fraction, which they all have fractions, there's 2 of them, you need to leave your answer as a fraction, okay? Let's look at number 14. 14 was kind of tricky in that they gave us this time, and you kind of start writing the equation, and then they say you studied for a total of 3 hours and 29 minutes. We need to convert 3 hours, 29 minutes all to minutes. how many minutes are we talking about? We're gonna take 3 times 60, right, plus 29. So 180 plus 29 gives us 209 minutes, okay? So, next thing. Robin, how much of the time did we study on the first day for the test? Of our time study? 14. Yes.
He
1 to 7 all, 9 to 19 odd, and 14.
Oh, I didn't even get that.
Well, then this is a good time to do it.
Wait, okay, so this makes no sense. You put 9 to 19, you can do the odds of 9 to 19?
Mhm.
Okay, because, like, the thing I didn't want, because I really wasn't going to
So 9 to 19, you only had to do the odds, but you had to do 14 also. Okay, so in 14, Robert, how much time did you spend on the first day? Study for the history test. Of all the time you were studying, how much was spent studying for the history test?
Was that a plus sign 3 plus 60? Or what is that?
You took 3 times 60 to find how many minutes this was. Did you get the word? What does it say when you read the first day? Monday, she spent what? Half of her time. So we're going to go 1/2 x. Plus, what do we know, Brooke, how much on the next day? How much of her time studying? Tuesday. 3/5 x. And this equals our total time studying, which was 209. So Greta, if we're looking at solving this, what would you multiply everything by so we don't have any fractions? 10. So I'm going to put this as 10 over 1 times 10 over 1 times 10. 2,090. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 1 gives me 5x. Plus 5 goes into 10 2 times. Erin, what should I write down? 6. And want to keep the x with it. And my hint when you have these ones with the x's, put the x like up on the top in the numerator instead of behind it. Put it with that number because then you're more likely to multiply it, okay? And I am not going to finish this one because you guys can finish this. This is not a hard problem. Yeah.
Can we leave it with a giant number?
Well, it says how much time does she study? So it comes out to so many minutes. Because you get like 11x equals this, and it shouldn't be too giant. But you're going to leave it in terms of minutes. Okay? Question 15. I think the most common mistake that I looked at in this problem, I had a couple people in working this morning, we were looking at it, is when you start off the problem, everyone starts and goes, oh, the jeans are $24.75, plus I got 6 socks. That's the same as 3 socks and 2 shirts. And people only want to put $15.60, but you have to take 2 times $15.60. And then plus 3s. Okay? So the mistake is often, and the mistake that happens then when you do that is you get a negative, like the socks should cost negative money, which is impossible, right? When you look at that. You can't have the socks being a negative dollar. Do you have a question? Okay. So, as we are looking at those, the other one that came up in the other class is number 19. So number 19. Let's change this to an improper fraction first. So 7 times 5 gives us 35. 35 plus 4 gives us 39 and put the F on top over 5. Now, knowing that, and now I look at the rest of these, and I'm just going to leave some space so I can show what I'm going to multiply by on each one. Minus, I'm going to show my multiplying with 5, 6, equals, and when I do this one, I want to leave the 7 and I put the F on top over 30. What should I multiply every single one by, Adam? 30. So as I multiply by 30 over 1. This is the best one in the back, right? 30 over 30 leaves me with just 7F. And now I'm going to go here. And 5 goes into 30 6 times. So on your calculator, please take 6 times 39. And Crystal, you got? 234F. This next one, 6 goes into 35 times, and I have a minus. 5 times 5 gives me 25. So you're looking at that problem, and I want that negative 25 all by itself. Noah, what would you do?
Subtract 7 from this.
Well, we could, but let's just get this negative 25 by itself. So instead of subtracting 7F, let's get rid of this. How? How could we get rid of 234F? If we subtract it, does that make sense the way I do this? Yes or no? Yes, kinda?
Yes.
You prefer to go the other way, Noah. Okay, does that make sense? Because now I don't have to go as many steps. So the reason I did that is I now have negative 25, and it's this really ugly number, right? When we get it, we get negative 227F. And I don't know if you looked at the answer in the back, but it's 25 over 227. These two negatives cancel and become a positive. And it is. And do not change it to a decimal because you started with a fraction. This is your answer. It's ugly. There are a lot of things in life that do not work out just nice and perfect. So that's why as we are looking at those, okay? As you finish, so today we are not turning this in because last night was Monday night. Just so you have it, because I was thinking that some of you really might have struggled with this. So tonight, take this home, okay? There's no activities, there's no choir concert now, there's nothing going on. Every game, every practice, everything is canceled because, and yes, we're probably having school tomorrow because we live in Fargo. So plan that you're going to come tomorrow. But in the meantime, so don't hand it in today. I would like you, if you didn't finish, take it home and take some time. You're going to have lots of time tonight, right? There's no activities, there's no practice, everything in town has been canceled.
Wait, everything in town? Wait, what do you mean like everything's being canceled?
I mean through all the school stuff. All the school stuff is, like there's nothing going on. There's no out of school basketball games, okay? So, the decimal part, okay? When we look at the decimal part, on your homework today, I'm going to ask you to show multiplication. We are not, by the way, going to do all of D12. Notice on the board it says we are only doing the odds. Okay? But as you look at this problem, Daisy, what would you multiply the first one by to get rid of no decimals? How much?
By 10.
By 10. How about the second one if I was looking at it to get rid of no decimals in that one? What would you multiply by, Bergen? 100. Okay, we are not totally going to solve these, but here's the most common mistake that I'll see in this one. People will multiply and they'll put down m, and this should be 10m, right? And then it would be 9, and it would be plus 5m equals negative 21, okay? Hang on, I'll get your question in just a minute. Here's the other big mistake that I'll see people do. Instead of adding these two like terms together, I will see people do this, and I just like want to shudder. And some of you are the people doing this. You've just put this, minus 5m and minus 5m. You can't do that. They're on the same side of the equal sign. You're adding 10 and 5, and this is 15m plus 9 equals negative 21. Okay? Now, we are not going to finish solving these two. I'm going to show you what the answers are. But those are kind of the common mistakes that I often see people make, and it's like they can't figure out why they're getting them wrong. This one, you really are just subtracting 9 and then dividing by 15 to get the answer. This one is a pretty nice answer also when you multiply and get rid of all those and you get 3. Okay? Which ones I really want to look at are these fraction ones. And we are just going to go through and get rid of our fractions, and then I'll kind of show you the answer. So what I want you to do is tell me your least common multiple of each of these. What is your least common multiple? And then start multiplying. Okay? So think of 8, 6, and 4. What's our least common multiple? Should be, Natalie?
24.
24. Did I get your question answered from before?
No.
Okay.
Did we have to do this, or could we just like?
You could have left it with the decimals, but in your homework I want you to practice multiplying it by 10 and 100.
Oh,
Okay? So I do want you to do that. Okay? So we said this one's 24. 24 over 1. Put the t with the 7 over 8. Plus 24 over 1. Put the 5t in the numerator over 6. Equals 24 over 1 and 3/4. All right. Malcolm, you want to start us off as we simplify?
41t.
Okay, because 8 went in here
3 times.
3 times. Okay, so we get 21t. Keep going.
20t.
Okay, so 6 went in here, 4. So you see how we got the 20t? He's multiplying 4 and 5t. So we get 20t. And if I look at the last one there, we need to move it. Okay, what can I do to simplify this last one? How many times can 4 go in to my 24? A little louder? 6 times. So now I have to put 6 times 3, which means I need to write 18. Should this be 1t equals 18?
no.
No. Should be 41, right? These are on the same side of the equal sign. You are adding them. They are like terms.
What was that noise that you just made?
Like, oh, I don't know. Maybe it was me
sounded-
chewing my gum.
It sounded like a motorcycle.
Maybe it's a hidden talent. I don't know. Or not.
To be on American Got Talent.
18 out of 41. Okay, do the next one, please. And if you'd like to solve it all the way, that'd be great, but I really need you to just show me what you're multiplying by, okay? Again, put the variable in the numerator. And we are, by the way, taking a homework quiz really soon.
Like today?
Mm-hmm.
How would you do that?
Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's just, all right. What did you decide was the least common multiple that we're multiplying by, Callie? 10, 3, and this g is over what?
1.
So what do I need to multiply all of them by that? What's my least common multiple? Yes, 30. So put 30 over 1, right? And over here, I'm just going to put 30, right? Because this is just going to be 60g. So now we're simplifying. Erin, you want to start us off how we're going to simplify the 30 and 10? and goes in here once and into 30.
Oh, 300. I don't know.
How many times?
Oh,
is-
3, yeah.
Okay, so now I'm gonna multiply.
And
3
you're gonna
times.
multiply 3 times 9, which is 27.
27G. Robin, keep going.
Then it would be 30 divided by 3.
Okay.
And that's 10. Then times 2 would be 20. Do I keep going after that?
Nope. So when you look at our solution here, we're not gonna finish this one, but can you see what they did to get 33? They subtracted 27G on both sides, right? And then it's 20 because of 33. And you're gonna leave your answer as that fraction. That's just it. You're gonna be done, okay? So, Diana got this ugly one. How do you decide in a problem like this? And we're not gonna do this one. I'm gonna show you the answer. But how do you decide what is the least common multiple? Someone wanna tell us how you can decide what it is, Robin?
Make it into an improper fraction.
Okay, I am gonna make this into 43K over 10. Same with this one is gonna be 16K over 5. But I'm still looking at all of these denominators and how do I find it, Sammy?
Do the biggest number.
So the biggest, largest number, okay? And then what?
And then take their multiples and then whatever one comes first.
So the largest number, which in our case is 12, we're gonna look at the multiples, so we go 12, 24, 36. So far we haven't found one, right? Because 10 can't go in, right? Then we would go with 48 and 60. And 12 times 5 is 60. And so I look at that, and that is what is going to be my common multiple. Okay? That's the easiest way. Are there other ways? Like, can you always just take 12 times 10? Well, you get 120. It's a lot bigger. And then you just have to simplify more at the end. Okay? So you could have done it, and if you're looking at this one, you should then multiply all of these times 60 over 1, okay? And this problem, when you do it, it's not that bad of a problem once you do that, and I am not going to do this whole one because I'd rather have you have time after the 2-question homework quiz. I'd rather have you have time to work on your homework. So we're not going to do that today. So if you turn to your homework, you are doing the odds. 1 to 17, I think, because there's 18 questions. Are we ever coming back and doing the evens? I don't know. That's a lot of practicing at fractions. I don't know, and decimals and equations. So, odds only. Unless you just really feel you need something extra to do on this stormy night when you're sitting home. For myself, watching The Voice, and This Is Us, but besides that, you know, so, all right, so, we are gonna do this homework quiz. And my hint to you is this, it is a one-step problem. When did we start doing